All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about how to get ahead. In life, you will struggle with this very difficult decision. It all hinges around this axiom of you cannot love money and serve God. For you will love one master and hate the other. And how do you balance that truth with the reality that you need money to live in this world? How do you do it? And I'm going to just talk to you for a minute of where I think I need to go and where I think a lot of us need to go. So, I came into ministry knowing I wouldn't make a lot of money. And I was always fine with that when I was going through. And then I've just noticed lately I have this desire to just make money. And I've kind of just quit caring about getting into ministry because I just look at it and I just go, why? I wouldn't make any money. And I don't know why or how or when this shift happened. I think it's when I just kind of got tired of applying for church jobs because they told me, hey, like, you're not old enough, you can't do it, you're not what we're looking for. And it just hit the point where it was like, look, even if one of these guys said yes to me, I would really struggle financially with that job to be the sole provider for my family. And so this kind of, I feel like, really led me down this path where I became very focused and hyper fixated on finances, but not just actually learning about them, but just the abstract state of money, the inquantifiable kind of thought of just, I'm fixated on thinking about it. And it didn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere for me, at least. Like, the more I thought about it, the more I got frustrated. And like, not like a frustration that pushed me, but just this frustration that developed that just made me mad at myself. And I just kept getting so mad. And it's like, why did I do this to myself? Why can't I make money? Why can't I do the things I want to do? Why can't I provide for my family? And it's just led me to this spot where, I'm working a job. I've got a second job lined up that I'm going to start. And what's the end goal with that? It's money, but I the more I think about it, the more I need to shift my end goal. I've just gotten to the point where I've started serving money, and it's versus hating God. And I guess even if I didn't want to admit it, I've just been upset at him that I'm not making as much as I want. I'm not keeping up with all these other people. I'm comparing myself. And I really clown on a lot of people, and I go, comparison is the thief of joy, and it is. And I've let myself get robbed. And I just wanted to share this with you all today. And I just want you to invite you to ask yourself, how much have you been thinking about money versus how much have you been thinking about God? You know, I'm not perfect. I definitely feel very convicted, and I don't know where to go. I don't know how to bring everything in line so I can get back to serving God like I want to, because it's just not fiscally able to happen for my family. And I think part of that, I think, is what drives me to start a business, is because I want to have something I can do that I can, do in the background that supports me while I do ministry. But, that's secondary. No matter what I want to do to make myself come back in line in that way, what I first have to do is come back in line in the first way, which is coming back and just truly serving God, even if it's not in a job kind of way where I'm working at a church, but I need to come back and serve him and follow him. I need to stop thinking about money. I need to stop thinking about starting a business. I need to just think about him again. I used to daydream all the time about, this might sound silly, but I would just sit there and I would daydream about saving people and, having these, magical powers from God and, being sort of the very essence of a fantasy paladin sort of thing, defending the innocent, protecting people from like crazy things, that wouldn't happen. And, obviously I don't have magic powers, but I would daydream about that all the time, and I feel like now when I reflect and I think about it, I haven't felt that way in years. I used to, and now it's gone. My mind is just so consumed with thinking about everything that's wrong that I can't think about everything that's right, I can't think about being a hero. I think a lot of that is too just this obsession with money, this obsession with starting a business, this obsession with if I could just have more, I could do more. And so that's why I'm going to take those steps to do that. But I think the other half of the coin of this just brain state is just endlessly being online. Like, I'm the chronic onliner. I'm watching the YouTube videos as soon as they pop. I'm hitting the notifications. I'm sitting on Facebook, Instagram, Reels, whatever you want to call it. I just am sitting on those for like 4 or 5 hours a day. And at the end of the day, when I try to go to bed, I just feel miserable. And I scroll on my phone. And when I put my phone down, I start thinking about money. And so I pull my phone out and scroll again so I don't have to think about it until I just collapse because my brain is just completely overwhelmed. But what kind of life is that? That isn't the life I was designed to live. God made me to be thinking about Him in everything I do at all times, in applying, these truths He's taught me. Even when I'm doing things that aren't, related, I can still relax. I can still enjoy things, not just be like reading my Bible 24/7 because it's the only thing a Christian does. But I need to be more present with Him, and I need to be more present away from just this rectangle of distractions. And so, last night I deleted again. I took it out. I got rid of my Facebook. I got rid of my YouTube. I had to get rid of Chrome because I would just go on Google Chrome and watch YouTube and Facebook. It's gone. I got rid of that. I got rid of Amazon. So I started scrolling that. I got rid of Steam because I started scrolling Steam. And then when I got rid of Steam, I started scrolling Play Store. Why? What's even on there? It's literally all just gambling apps or mobile games that are just like 100% spyware. There's nothing there. And it's gone now too. Like, I have nothing. I have like Duolingo and my apps that I have to have for work. And that's pretty much it. And you know what? I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm just really hoping this brings me back into like a level of focus and clarity. So, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to talk with you guys more down there. Shout out to this user, 6923, for leaving our first comment. I haven't responded yet as I'm filming this, but I do have some thoughts for how, I think, might give you some more advice. See you guys in the next one. Next one might be something more chill. I don't have another idea for one of these little face-to-face kind of chats right now. So I think the next one, it might be a scripted video if I can finish that. Or we might play a little bit of Magic Arena, and we'll talk a little bit about, my love of Magic the Gathering, while we play. If you're interested, get subscribed, hit the like button, and especially comment. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to chat again, like I said. All right, everybody. Remember, God made you very special, and He loves you very much. See you in the next one.